But I want to ask y'all, stop fueling the haters by reposting these articles. You're not for me. You do not support Dr. Umar Johnson if you take some hating-ass article and go repost it all over social network. Talk about, look what somebody said about Umar. No, that's you backing them up. You let it die where you found it. Either defend me or shut the hell up, but don't spread the filth. Right. 150 years, but we ain't got no supermarkets. 150 years, we ain't got no airline. 150 years, we ain't got a 100% totally African-owned bank that invests in the community. 100 years, where's our dry cleaners? 100 years, we don't produce no automobile, but we invented every part on it. 100 years. Brothers and sisters, we can do better than this. As we go into the new year, there's some changes we got to make. We got to shift the paradigm about some things. And one of the first paradigms that need to be shifting, and I don't speak for this church because I know the people in this church and I know they do the work of the community. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but I know it to be true. But we're going to have to start holding religious leaders accountable for the funds that go through their hands. Black people put $3 million in church every weekend. $3 million in the mosque every weekend. $3 million in a Jehovah's Witness temple every weekend. With that type of money, why we ain't got schools yet? With that type of money, why we ain't got banks yet? You mean to tell me you give Jesus and Muhammad $3 million every Sunday and you ain't once asked for an accounting of it? We talk about the Chinese man who pimps the community. We talk about the Arab who pimps the community. We talk about the East Indian who pimps the community. But what about the preachers who pimp the community? Do you realize religious pimping is more exploitative than all the others put together? Done in the name of God. So the next time you go to church, after the collection has been offered up, I want you to pick up the collection and go to the middle of the church hall and call out to the Lord and say, Father, Mother, Supreme Conscious, Amin Ra, Nyame, Chikwu, Olodumare, whatever name you choose. We took up an offering for you. And we're going to go ahead and toss it on up to you. And whatever you need, you take. And whatever you don't need, let it come back down to us. And whatever comes down to us, we're going to give it back to the people who it was taken from, Lord. Brothers and sisters, we got to do better. I'm not against religion. I'm against the fact that the church used to be the most revolutionary institution in our community. I'm against the fact that you collect so much money, have the attention of so many of our people, and rather than organizing them to do anything with it, you put them to sleep. I'm not a socialist, I'm a nationalist, but I understand what Karl Marx meant when he said religion was the opiate of the people. Because religion doesn't teach you to fight back and crush it. Religion teaches you to be comfortable with it. How are we going to win like that? Teaching us to be colorblind. How are you going to win like that? How are you going to blend in? Do you realize how different we appear to everyone else? You colorblind and nobody else is. We're all God's children, you're taught. Well, where were God's children during slavery? Where were God's children during the civil rights struggle? Where were God's children during the Black Power movement? Where were God's children during the Michael Brown situation and Eric Garner? Where were God's children then? Why you keep trying to fit in with everybody for? Do you realize that psychologically speaking, a person who cannot stand alone, a person who is willing to be disrespected just to be accepted, is a person with no self-respect. Why don't white people respect black people? Why? How can you respect the people who you have mistreated worse than dogs for 400 years, and every time you turn around, they want to know if we can all get along? Black man, we got to close ranks. If we want the respect of our women and our children back, we're going to have to stand up and in some cases die for it. The white man has gotten arrogant with his disrespect of black women and children. He's gotten arrogant as hell because we don't stand up the way we used to stand up for our women. I'm not talking about your woman. I'm not dealing with your family. I'm talking about the family. Because you're real quick to get a brother, well, I'll look out for my woman. I don't. But what about another sister who ain't got it, man? She get disrespects. Who's going to safeguard her honor? Remember that word, honor? We used to be the most honorable people on earth. You couldn't buy Africans with money once upon a time. You couldn't disrespect our women once upon a time. You couldn't even make us take your money once upon a time. We lost it, and it's time to get it back. It's time to get it back. That's okay, we down on one knee. That's all right. Because if you notice, after you get an injury, for those of you who played sports like I did in high school, sometimes the fractured limb gets repaired and ends up being stronger than what it was when it got broken down. So if we play our cards right, brothers and sisters, as Attorney Maddox said earlier, what about our own dynasty? Ancestor John Henry Clark used to talk about having another great African Renaissance. We can be that. But in order to get there, you're going to have to go through some hell. In order to get there, you're going to have to give up all your white friends. In order to get there, you got to burn your white Jesus picture. In order to get there, you might have to start practicing an eye for a damn eye and a tooth for a damn tooth in order to get there. Black woman. Black woman. I want you to give our girls a better idea of what the black womanhood is all about. I need you to be a stronger example than you've ever been. I need you to be direct with your daughter about what is ladylike and what is not ladylike. I want you to turn off Scandal. I want you to turn off Basketball Wives. I want you to turn off the reality shows. I'm going to wrap up in 15. I'm going to make sure we're done at 10 on the dot because I know. I'm at the movies. I'm at the movies watching No Good Deed. Idris Elba, Taraji P. Henson. A movie we find out about at the end is about a black man, Idris Elba, who breaks out of jail to go kill his white girlfriend for cheating on him. And then we find out at the end of the movie that Taraji P. Henson's husband, a successful lawyer, is cheating on her with the same white woman that Idris Elba broke out of jail to kill. And then I went to go see Addicted. And once again, a black woman cheating on a black man with a white man. And then I come home, and there's Olivia Pope. A black woman who can't find no black man good enough for her, but don't mind being a bed wench to other white men until the white president wants to sleep with her. Black woman, how could you? How could you? Do you know what you're feeding into? You're helping white folk assassinate your image in the public mind. Black man, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. Black man, we have to engineer a love black woman campaign that's so strong that our sons would rather be married than just sleeping around because it looks so damn sexy. We got to make a campaign where our boys would rather make a black woman a wife instead of a baby mom because it's part of who he is as a man. We got to do this. People talking about what we're going to do to fix the black situation in America. I'm going to tell you one of the things we must do. There's no magic bullet, but there are prerequisites to the struggle. And one of the prerequisites to restoring African people to our ancient glory, one of the prerequisites is that the black man and the black woman got to lock shoulders side by side and let nothing come between them. Until the black man and the black woman are on the same square, there won't be no revolution. Until the black man and the black woman are side by side, there will be no revolution. Until the black family is fixed, there will be no fixing. Because we out of balance. Divinity is about balance between the masculine and the feminine principle. The whole universe is based on the balance between the masculine and the feminine principle. You see it in the animal kingdom. You see it in the plants and flowers. You see it with the sun and the moon. You see it with the animals in the water. You see it even within the atom, the basic molecule of all creation. There's a positive charge and a negative charge. So you mean to tell me this is how it is in nature? You mean to tell me this is how it is in the solar system? You mean to tell me that this is how the world operates, but you think you don't have to respect that law and not have your situation out of order? Fix that and you fix nothing else. And that is why we're against homosexuality. I don't hate my brothers. I don't hate my lesbian sisters. But I hate the behavior because I know they wasn't put here for that. I don't hate them, but they out of balance. The feminine and the masculine. Our whole spiritual reality is based on the attraction of opposite. The positive charge must have a negative charge. You ever notice when you need some batteries for your cell phone or you need some batteries for the flashlight, you pop open the back and you see positive and negative. It makes the currency go round. We got the good back and good standing with the Lord. I'm not talking about no fake ass superficial spirituality. I'm not talking about that. Burning incense and looking like you're meditating just to be seen. I'm not talking about that. No way in hell you serious about spirituality, and every spiritual activity you engage in must be seen by other people. That's ego, and ego is the enemy of spiritual transformation. You want to push that spirit up the spine. You want to activate them chakras. You want to force your soul through the third eye to meet with God. That's a very private and dark experience. Ain't nobody around when you go through that. Do you realize in Nile Valley culture, our ancestors used to withdraw from society for 3 months at a time, just to meditate and fast for 3 months at a time. We'll do it for 1 day and say, I'm awakened. Pass me some shea butter. Stop romanticizing everything about our culture. We romanticize everything. We romanticize revolution. Have you ever read the papers of Lumumba? Have you ever read the papers of Nkrumah? Have you ever read the papers of Sekou Touré? Have you ever read the papers of Nelson Mandela? Not the one who came out of jail, but the one who went in. Have you ever read the Mau Mau from Within? Do you realize that none of our freedom fighters wanted to fight? They did it because they had to, not because they wanted to. Stop romanticizing everything. We didn't romanticize fighting white people for so long. I don't think none of us want to stop. I don't think we want to win because we've made a lifestyle out of fighting against white supremacy. Not beating it, just struggling. I went to a Dr. Umar lecture. I got my struggle on. This ain't struggle, brothers and sisters. This is preparation for struggle. There's only one definition of struggle in my book, and that is to the extent that you directly challenge and confront your enemy, politically, economically, militaristically, and otherwise. Until we challenge white power, there has been no struggle.